Shalom, shalom, Israel, giving all praise to the Most High and to His Son. Hope everybody had a blessed day today. Hope everybody was able to take care of their business, take care of anything they had to take care of today, man. Make sure we utilize them every day to the best of our ability. Today, we're going to go into the communication between a man and a woman, man. Communication between a husband and a wife. Where the breakdown is coming in, that communication, and how it can be improved. Because a lot of us as Israelites, we're trying to take the way that we used to interact as boyfriend and girlfriend and bring that into the truth. Or we take the way we used to interact as boyfriend and girlfriend, or even husband and wife in the world, and bring that into the truth. And it doesn't work that way. You know, some people had good relationships with their wife or with their husband before they came into the truth, and it only improved, or it was good and it got better. But there was always tweaks that had to be done when you come into the truth. You becoming a new man, and we're going to go over that today. Give me Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 17.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 17.
Read.
This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their minds.
So he's telling you, he's saying, henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their minds. So why is it that Israelites today are still taking relationship advice from people in the world? And when I say people in the world, I'm not just talking about friends, because yeah, sisters got friends in the world they talk to, brothers got friends in the world they talk to, but it's not just that. Some people taking relationship advice from YouTube videos. Some people taking relationship advice from television shows. Some people taking relationship advice from movies. They taking relationship advice or things that they what they call it, relationship goals, you know what I'm saying, husband goals, wife goals. They taking those goals from things they see out in the world, and they want to be like that because of the vanity of what they see they doing. They want that. Give me Judges chapter 2 and verse 1. Let's see what the Most High God warned us about being that way, because every action you take, it got a consequence. So the consequences of being like they are in the world, let's see what those consequences are. Read this.
The book of Judges, chapter 2 and verse 1.
Read.
And an angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim.
Read.
And said, I made you to go up out of Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swore unto your fathers.
See, the thing is, brothers and sisters don't realize they being brought unto the land that's sworn unto our fathers now today. That land is inside of you. The land is the way that you interact with your brothers and sisters. The land is the people. The land, we're going to own this entire earth. How is one land going to be our land? This whole land is our land. You see what I'm saying? But read on.
And I said, I will never break my covenant with you.
You've been promised that the covenant will not be broken with you, right? Read.
And ye shall make no league with the inhabitants of the land.
But as Israelites, we believe that making no league with the inhabitants of the land means that we don't do business with them. But that's not the case. See, making league with them is following after their footsteps. You see what I'm saying? Now, I can still go and buy a case of eggs from an Edomite. That's not making a league with him. I'm exchanging legal tender for a case of eggs. You see what I'm saying? Same thing the way our forefathers used to buy wood, used to buy water, used to buy land from them. We can do that. We can exchange business. But when you making a league with them, that means you looking at Steve Harvey up there and saying, man, Steve Harvey knows some good relationship advice.
Bring it out.
Steve Harvey been divorced 16 times, man. Steve Harvey don't got the relationship advice for you, man.
That's right.
So when you listening to his radio show and you thinking that's what's going to save your marriage, that's where you messing up at in the first place. It said we supposed to make no leagues with them, even with our own people that's in the wickedness, man. Some of y'all sisters, man, out there talking to a homegirl about what your husband doing in the truth, man. Talking to your mama about what your husband doing in the truth. Now, if your husband ain't in the spirit, that's one thing, but you should be speaking with somebody spiritual. If you go out there and talk to somebody in the world, they gonna give you worldly advice. Right. Read.
But ye shall throw down their altar.
It say you shall throw down every altar they have, every idea, every state of mind they have when it comes to being spiritual, when it comes to the way you're supposed to live your life. If it's not according to this Bible, you're supposed to throw it down. But too many times we exalt it within our minds, man. We want to say with our outward voice that you know, we don't believe in what they believe in, but with our inward voice, we're taking in their knowledge and we're using it in our relationship in the dark, in the secret. Read.
But ye have not obeyed my voice.
See, brothers and sisters are not obeying that voice, man. They're not. Because they'll say they are out in the open with everybody else, they obeying the voice. But when they in their household with their wife or with their husband, they secretly sneaking in things they heard in the world. Read.
Why have ye done this?
Why do you do this? Why do you do this? Because you want to be like Cardi B. Secretly in your mind, you want to be Steve Harvey.
Bring it out.
With fringes on, you want to be Steve Harvey with fringes on, man. You want to be LL Cool J with fringes on, man. You want to be Nicki Minaj with fringes on. You envy, crave after their relationship goals. Kim Kardashian, I want to be, too many of these sisters in the truth want to be Beyonce, man.
Bring it out.
Even to this day, still want to be Beyonce and Jay-Z. Read.
Wherefore, I also said,
read.
I will not drive them out from before you.
So that's why you still got those spirits in your household, man. Because I guarantee you, if Beyonce came in the truth right now, sisters would be flocking to her for relationship advice, man. They would be, they would pass right by leadership and they'll go right to Beyonce and ask him, Beyonce, how am I supposed to deal with my husband? Beyonce, how am I supposed to deal with this in my relationship? If Jay-Z came in the truth, brothers would be going left and right, dodging leadership to go ask Jay-Z what they supposed to do with their relationship, man. But that's why those spirits have not left your household. Read.
But they shall be as thorns in your side.
That's why every time you walk in your household, you got problems. Every time you speaking to your wife, you getting attitude, you getting lip. Every time you talking to your husband, you getting laziness, you getting cathartic, where he don't want to do nothing. He don't want to take care of the business. This is why, because you have relied on outside influences to influence your relationship with Christ. Read.
And their gods shall be a snare unto you.
And their way of living is now a snare unto us, man. Because we are too busy taking relationship advice from outside of the truth to help us be better Israelites in the truth. And it don't make any sense. Read. No, we good. Is that all I wanted? Give me Proverbs 3 and 31.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31.
Read.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
So who is the oppressor? Is it the white man? Is it the African man? Is it the Chinese man? We want to say all these people are oppressors, but I feel pretty oppressed when, even back in the world, I used to have a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with her this way, that way, and the third. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she switch up because she saw somewhere on the internet, Kim Kardashian did this and did that. And now she don't want to deal with me no more.
Bring it out.
I feel pretty oppressed. My own peoples. She seen Beyonce said something about this. Beyonce said Jay-Z wasn't nothing. Now she feeling some type of way about me. I feel pretty oppressed. It say, envy thou not the oppressor. Read.
And choose none of his ways.
Too many times we are being affected by these things on the outside, and they manipulating the way we see things on the inside, man. We're not supposed to choose none of their ways. Choose none of the way they deal with their relationship, the way they deal with their children. Too many of us want to raise our children the way they raise their children. The way brother, you see a brother, some of us got family member out in the world, and they look like on the outside, they having a great relationship, a great family, everything great. But on the inside, man, they having arguments. They having problems. They going to sleep angry. They don't got nothing figured out in their future. But all we see is on the outside. Give me 1 Corinthians 14 and 33.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 33.
Read.
For God is not the author of confusion.
So the thing is, if you having confusion in your house where you speaking to your wife and she not understanding what you're saying, right? That's because you're not speaking in a godly manner. If you speak in a godly manner, there will be no confusion. If you a sister and you dealing with your husband and you're not able to communicate properly to him, you need to seek counsel so that you can go speak to him in a godly manner. Anytime you speaking in a carnal manner, there's going to be confusion in your household. The sister not gonna know what to do. The brother not gonna know what to do because it's just two carnal minds butting heads. And I see it all the time out there in the world. That's why you see that sister in the car going like this to her man in the car in the back seat. You see that?
Bring it out.
Because they got confusion in the house. Neither of them understands what the other one wants. Read.
For God is not the author of confusion,
Read.
but of peace.
See, when you start to live your life godly and you start to speak godly and you start to use godly medicine in your relationship with your wife and your relationship with your husband, you will finally have peace. That's why I tell brothers all the time, man, the only thing you missing in your relationship is communication. That's it. All you got to do is sit your wife down and look her in the eyes. Look her in the eyes so she hear what you're saying. Sister out there dealing with a man, sit him down and look him in the eyes so he sees what you're saying, so there is no confusion. He knows what you want. You know what he want. Read.
As in all churches of the saints.
Read.
Let your women keep silence in the church.
And see, the thing is, we say this all the time to the women, right? The women's supposed to keep silence in the churches, right? But are we not the wife of Christ? Yeah. But too many brothers that are not leadership, that are not set up to lead the nation, want to run their mouth in the church. They are the women in the church. They need to shut their mouth in the church. Read.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak.
So many people want to be on that level, but it is not permitted for everybody to speak when it comes to leading the nation. Brothers that are not set up in leadership, that are not set up to lead the nation, they are the wife of the church, and they need to also shut their mouth. They should not be in there trying to exalt themselves. Sisters as well. Read.
But they are commanded to be under obedience.
Read.
As also saith the law.
So the thing is, you have to ask yourself this question. If your wife want to go in your house and run her mouth about everything you say and don't want to listen, this, that, and the third, you got to ask yourself, is that the way you treat in the church? Yeah. When you come into the church, are you listening to what your leadership tell you? Are you listening to what the Lord is telling you? Are you obediently following? Because if you're not, that's why your wife in there acting a fool. Read.
And if they will learn anything.
And if the sister will learn anything, read.
Let them ask their husbands at home.
See, the thing is, how many brothers are prepared to answer questions at home? Yeah. How many brothers are really prepared to answer questions at home? And how many sisters are coming with questions at home? That's the question you got to look at. When's the last time you asked your husband a question? And the reason sisters ain't asking their husbands questions is because they have no respect for their Lord. They have no respect. They don't think he know nothing. They don't have respect for his answers. If he answered their question, they're not even going to believe the answer. Yeah. They're going to want to find Beyonce answer on Google. Read.
For it is a shame for women to speak in the church.
And see, brothers need to examine themselves too, because we want to talk about it's a shame for women to speak in the church, but you are a brother in the church and you running your mouth.
Bring it out.
And you running your mouth in the church. But how you going to tell your wife to be that and you can't even follow that example? See, read on.
What came the word of God out from you, or came into it unto you only?
Read on.
If any man think himself to be a prophet.
If any man thinking, every brother it seemed like every brother in the truth that come in the truth, that read their Bible, that pull a precept, think themselves to be a prophet for some reason. Read.
Or spiritual.
Or they think themselves to be spiritual. Read.
Let him acknowledge that the things that I write unto you are the commandments of the Lord.
So if you think yourself to be a prophet, or you think yourself to be spiritual in this truth, you need to acknowledge that this is of the Lord, man. When you being told to sit down and shut your mouth, acknowledge that is of the Lord. And I'm not talking to the sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because the brother, he's sitting on the couch with his wife right now looking like, see, I told you, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking to the sister. I'm talking to you, brother. That's right. When you being told, sit down, calm down, be patient, and stop running your mouth in the church, acknowledge that this is of the Lord. Read.
But if any man be ignorant.
But if any man be ignorant of this, read.
Let him be ignorant.
That's why this truth is spiritual, man, because if you ignorant of this, I can't drill this into your head. You have to want it. You have to have the faith enough to be able to walk on the water, because if you doubt it, then you're going to drown. Give me Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 18.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4 verse 18.
Read.
Having the understanding darkened.
See, the thing is, jump up to verse 17 again. Get the full context.
Verse 17.
Read.
This I said therefore, and testify in the Lord.
Testify in the Lord. Read.
That ye henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk.
Don't walk as the people outside this truth walk. whether it be of your own brothers or whether it be of the other nations, they all following their own vanity. Read.
In the vanity of their minds.
It's all just vanity. It's I want to look like this. I want people to see me as this. I want my wife to worship me like this. I want my husband to see me like this, instead of just being they self, or instead of being what Christ molded them to be. Read.
Having the understanding darkened.
And see, when you try and fake and be something that you're not around your wife, too many brothers, they being fake around their wife. They not being who they really are. You know what I'm saying? They too afraid to let their guard down around their wife. So it have your understanding darkened. Read.
Being alienated from the life of God.
Read.
Through the ignorance that is in them.
Because brothers who are fake around their wife, or sisters that are fake around their husband, they are alienated from the true life that you could have in God. See, brothers that have life in God, they can be themselves. They can relax. They can have peace. They can have joy. They can have no confusion. But brothers that are not being themselves and being fake, man, they don't have any life in Christ. It's like they still lacking that light inside of them. Read.
Because of the blindness of their heart.
Because of the blindness of their heart. But give me Deuteronomy 28:28. Because the thing is, who do the curses apply to? Who do the curses apply to? Just because you put fringes on, are you exempt from the curses? Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 28.
Read.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
Every time you walk in your household and you got a problem and you say something to your wife and she say something back at you and you struggling and she's struggling and y'all can't reach each other, is it not madness?
Bring it out.
But you got fringes on though. But you still got this curse. Read.
And blindness.
And blindness to where you can't see her point of view and she can't see your point of view, and you both just running your mouth at each other, man. She can't understand what you saying. You can't understand what she's saying. Read.
And astonishment of heart.
And it gets to the point where you just sit down and you like, I don't understand why she can't understand. I don't understand why she can't do this. I don't understand why she can't just do this. She's saying, I don't understand why he can't be like this. I don't understand why he can't treat me like this. Astonishment of heart. Read.
And thou shalt grope at noonday.
Read.
As the blind gropeth in darkness.
And now you just blind groping around. You don't know what you're supposed to do. You ain't never been married before. Not truly. You've had boyfriend and girlfriend. Even when you was married back in the world, you was never really married. You was boyfriend and girlfriend. Just because you put that ring on your finger don't mean you was married. You see what I'm saying? They say you blind. You a little baby groping around in the darkness. Read.
And thou shalt not prosper in thy way.
And then everything you try to do in your life, you might wake up one day and be like, you know what, today is the day my life is going to change. Today's the day my marriage is going to get on track. And then you try to do something that you seen on YouTube, or you try to do something you heard on the podcast on Spotify, or you try to do something you read in the magazine, a Life magazine, had 10 ways to get your relationship right with Beyonce, and then everything fall apart right in front of your eyes. Read.
And thou shalt be only oppressed.
Read.
And spoiled evermore.
Read.
And no man shall save.
Can't no man fix your relationship with your wife, man.
Yeah.
Can't no man fix your relationship with your husband. Can't no sister out there in the world. And I'm going to tell you something. That's where a lot of divorces come from too. Is sisters going out to that world asking advice from sisters.
Yeah.
A lot of divorces come from brothers going out to that world asking advice from brothers. Because they'll always give you the advice. A hater gonna always give you the advice, man, leave him. A hater gonna always give you the advice, man, she ain't worth it. That's what they always gonna do, man. Ephesians 4:19. Somebody that love you, man, they'll try to help you. Somebody that's a hater, man, they always gonna tell you to poison what you have. They always gonna try to poison it. Read this out.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 19.
Read.
Who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness.
See, the thing is, a lot of marriages and relationships nowadays are based on lasciviousness, man. Lust.
That's right.
It's all lust. You know what I'm saying? Read.
To work all uncleanness.
And their only goal was to work uncleanness. Read.
With greediness.
And that's where adultery come from. Greediness, man. Because when you seen her, you wanted her. You wanted it. You had to have it. You got it. Now the next thing you see, you want it. You got it. You had to have it. You got it. Everything. But let me show you. Give me Tobit chapter 8 verse 6. Let's see what the alternative is. Because it say lasciviousness, greed. It say uncleanness. Tobit chapter 8 verse 7. Read that out. 8 verse 6.
The book of Tobit, chapter 8 and verse 6.
Read.
Thou madest Adam.
Read.
And gavest him Eve, his wife, for an helper and stay.
He said he gave him Eve, his wife, for the purpose of, I thought it was the purpose of somebody to be in the bed with. A what?
A helper and stay.
I thought it was the purpose for she's supposed to be in a sexy outfit.
And helper and stay.
And helper and a stay. So let me ask you a question. When you first married her, did you make it your point and your mission to teach her how to be a helper and a stay?
Bring it out.
Or was your mission to have that nice honeymoon phase for about 3 months?
Bring it out.
Where y'all all giggly, touching on each other, laughing, having a good time? Which was your mission? Read.
Of them came mankind.
Of them came mankind. Read.
Thou hast said, it is not good that man should be alone.
But I'm going to tell you something. Brothers and sisters in relationships married in the truth are still alone.
Bring it out.
And the way I know that is because I've seen it. I've had points in even my marriage where I sat down with my wife and I said, look, there's a problem here. And what it's making me feel like is I'm alone. You know what I'm saying? And let's fix that. But I communicated that. But it made me see, I was like, right now, we're not one flesh. And I have to address that in order to fix the problem. Because even though we calling ourselves husband and wife right now, I'm alone.
Read up.
Read.
Let us make unto him an aid like unto himself.
See, it's saying aid that is like unto himself. That means the problems that you getting out of your wife are from you. The same type of aid you are unto Christ is the same type of aid your wife is going to be unto you. Read.
And now, O Lord,
read.
I take not this my sister for love.
He said he take not this his sister. See, brothers don't see their wife as their sister, man.
No.
That's the problem. Brothers see their wife as a female.
Bring it out. She
a chick. She a female. You know, they don't see their sister. They gonna see everybody else as sister. Hey, sister. Hey, sister. What's going on, sister? Family, love, hugs, everything, shalom, everything. But when they see their wife, look at them thighs. You know what I'm saying? That's all they see. They don't see that same sisterly love that they see with everybody else that they see out there, man. Read.
But uprightly.
He said, I don't take her for lust. I take her uprightly. Which means I know what the mission is. I know that I see her as a person. I look in her eyes and I see the soul that's within her. Read.
Therefore, mercifully ordained that we may become aged together.
That's not even, I'm going to tell you, the same percentage of brothers and sisters that become aged together in the world is becoming the same percentage of brothers and sisters that become aged together in the truth.
No.
It is getting to that point where there ain't much difference. Because they're not taking their wife in a different manner. You think that your wife gonna stay with you just because it's the law tell her to?
Bring it out.
I mean, y'all was married in the world and they had they had papers and everything and the law told her to them, but she didn't abide by that.
Bring it out.
What make you think she gonna do that in the truth? Just because the law tell her to, now she gotta stay with you. That's not the case, man. It all based on the foundation you set up. Give me Genesis chapter 2 and verse 23.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 23.
And that bring another point that I got to address. Is your relationship based off of fear?
Bring it out.
Is the only reason that you and your wife still together because you afraid of breaking the law that she got to stay with you? Because at first it might have been good and everything was good, but eventually sometimes it turns sour. It turns sour eventually for some brothers, for some sisters, man. And they just don't want to break the law. They don't want to leave because they don't want to break the law. Or do you still have a relationship with them? Read this, Art.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 23.
Read.
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones.
This is now bone of my bones. Read.
And flesh of my flesh.
Everything that I do, she do. Everything that I partake, she partake. She is me. She is you. Read.
She shall be called woman.
She shall be called woman. Read.
Because she was taken out of man.
Read.
Therefore, shall a man leave his father and his mother?
See, the thing is, you're supposed to leave your old ways. You're supposed to leave your old mindset. You're supposed to leave that old man, read.
And shall cleave unto his wife.
And create a new relationship, a joint being with your wife. You're not supposed to be the same man that you used to be. Yeah, you're still the same man, but there's different ways that you act now. You can't do the same things. You can't behave the same way. You have to become a husband. You cannot be that same single bachelor man with a wife. You are a husband now with a wife. It's a different way of being. Read.
And they shall be one flesh.
And they shall be one flesh. Read.
And they were both naked.
See, the thing is, read on.
The man and his wife.
Read on.
And were not ashamed.
Some brothers are ashamed to be naked in front of their wife. And I don't mean physically naked. I mean exposed. Who they are. What their weaknesses are. What their beliefs are. The things that they do and don't do. The way they act around everybody else. And the way they act at home become two different people. And they're afraid to allow their wife to see who they really are.
Bring it out.
They're afraid to become naked. The woman, and that's sometimes the way it be with that woman. So, you marry her and you see her with her makeup off for the first time, and it become a whole thing. It is not just the makeup, it's just everything. You thought she was clean. No, she just cleaned her car when you came around. You found out she got all kind of stuff going on in there. These are the things. You can't be afraid to be naked in front of your wife. You can't be afraid to be naked, exposed in front of your husband. See, give me Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 20. You have to be exposed. You have to be one flesh. Everything, your secrets are her secrets. Her secrets are your secrets. Everything. But read this out.
The book of Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 20.
Read.
But ye have not so learned Christ.
See, the thing is, you have not learned the way that you've been treating your wife or the way that you've been behaving in your relationship. If it ain't working, you ain't learned that from Christ. And you didn't learn that from Christ. And brothers know what they did and did not learn from Christ. Read.
If so, be that ye have heard him.
Read.
And have been taught by him, as the truth in Yahawashi.
Read on.
That ye put off the concerning the former conversation, the old man.
Read on.
Which is corrupt, according to deceitful lust.
He said you got to put off concerning the former conversation, that old man that you were, which was corrupt according to all the deceitful lust. See, everything that was going on in your mind, your deceitful lust, you got to put those things off coming into the relationship with your wife. Read.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Becoming a new man, becoming a husband, becoming a father, becoming a backbone of your household. Read.
And that you put on the new man.
And then put on that new man. Read.
Which after God is created in righteousness and true holiness.
Let's get that. Give me Ephesians 5 and 22. See, read this.
The book of Ephesians chapter 5 verse 22.
Read.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands.
It say, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands. Read.
As unto the Lord.
Give me Matthew chapter 7 and verse 7. It say, wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands. What do it mean to submit yourself unto your husband? Do that mean that he tell you something you don't want to do and you do it anyway?
Bring it out.
Is that what that means? Because that's what a lot of sisters think that means. Is that they just do what their husbands tell them to do. That's not what it means. Read this.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 7.
Read.
Ask, and it shall be given you.
See, the thing is, when you submit yourself to your husband, you submit in your mind. Which means that when you have questions, you asking him. You coming to him with your inquiries. You giving him your wisdom. You saying, I want you to be the backbone of my knowledge and my understanding when it comes to how to be a better wife for you. I'm not going to other sources. I'm coming to you. Read.
Seek, and ye shall find.
Read.
Knock, and it shall be open unto you.
Read on.
For everyone that asketh, receive.
So if you're supposed to submit to the husband as unto Christ, Christ say, come, everyone that asketh, receive it. That means that's supposed to be the same way you deal with your husband.
Read on.
You're supposed to ask from him and receive. Read.
And he that seeketh, findeth.
Read.
And to him that knocketh, it shall be open.
Read on.
Or what man is there of you?
What man is there of you, read?
Whom if his son ask bread,
Even his wife ask bread, read.
will he give him a stone?
See, that's what you, and if you're not going to your husband and asking for that bread, asking for that knowledge, asking for that wisdom, that means you don't trust him not to give you that stone.
No.
Read.
Or if he ask a fish,
read.
Will he give him a serpent?
Read on.
If ye then, being evil,
read,
know how to give good gifts unto your children.
You know what gifts you wish to receive, read.
How much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask him? Do you trust your husband to give you good things? If you can't trust your husband to give you good things, what are you doing in that relationship? What is that? What is a relationship without trust? See, read on. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you. Whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, read. Do ye even so to them. Every relationship is based off of give and take. Every relationship is based off of reaping what you sow. Whatever the husband does to Christ is what the wife will do to the husband. Whatever the wife does to the husband is whatever the children will do to her. It's all based on that. Whatever the husband does to the wife is what the wife gonna do to the husband. Whatever the wife do to the husband is what the husband gonna do to the wife. You have to be able to see your wife as a reflection of yourself. The wife has to be able to see the husband as a reflection of herself. Read. For this is the law and the prophets. But see, brothers don't want to admit that, man. Bring it up. They'll be looking at their wife, oh, you lazy, you don't do this, don't do that. And then they won't look and say, well, that's the reflection of me. That's an embarrassment to them. They won't do that. Their wife will go to their husband, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that. But they won't look at that and say, well, that's a reflection. I don't even do that. I don't even do none of those things, but I expect them from him. It don't make any sense. You don't do none of those things, but you expect them from her. It don't make any sense. Give me 2 Kings 5 and 8. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 5 and verse 8.
Read.
And it was so. Read. When Elisha, the man of God, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes.
See, the king of Israel was sick at this time. Naaman sick at this time, right? Read.
That he sent to the king, saying, wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes?
Read on.
Let him come now to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel.
So he was sick. He said, why didn't you just come to the prophet? Why didn't you just come to the man of God? Read.
So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha.
Read on.
And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times.
So the thing is, the king came to Elisha with a sickness, with a problem, and Elisha gave him a solution to that problem. And that is a reflection of us even in this truth. The wife go to the husband with a problem. The husband will give them a solution to that problem. We'll say, just simply wash in the river Jordan 7 times. It's a simple solution. Simply go and do this. Simply go and do that to fix that problem. Read.
And thy flesh shall come again to thee.
Read.
And thou shalt be clean.
A simple solution to a simple problem, right? Read.
But Naaman was wroth.
But see, the thing is, the Israelite was wroth. Naaman was wroth. The sister was wroth. Read.
And went away.
Read.
And said, behold, I thought he would surely come out to me, and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God.
Read.
And strike his hand over the place and recover the leper.
See, and we can all relate to this. How many times have you had a problem, went to seek counsel of who's supposed to be over you, and did not like the answer that you got? Real talk. Sisters don't like the answer their husband got to give them. Brothers do not like the answer that the counselors have to give them. They don't like the answer because they wanted it to be something that, oh, you come and you just put your hands on me and it get rid of all of my problems. But they give you the simple answer to how to fix your own problems. Read.
Are not Abana and Pharpar rivers of Damascus?
Read on.
Better than all the waters of Israel?
Read on.
May I not wash in them and be clean?
So they want to come up with their own solution to the problem. And how many times have you had that issue? Sister will say, oh, this is the problem. Husband be like, well, just do this. She's like, well, no, I think I'll do this and this. I think this is the better. I think I should do this and this and this and this. Brother, like, I just told you to do this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Read.
So he turned and went away in rage.
So she gonna turn and go away in a rage, man. Read.
And his servants came near and spake unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldest thou not have done it?
See, if the thing is, if your husband told you this thing that you wanted him to tell you to do, if he told you what you wanted him to tell you, then you would have went and did it, right? Read.
How much rather then, when he saith to thee, wash and be clean?
How much rather then if he tell you a much simpler and easier solution for you to go and just do that? How much better is it for you to just trust your Lord? How much better is it for you to just trust the man that was put into your life? Read.
Then went he down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan.
Read.
According to the saying of the man of God. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child.
Read on.
And he was clean.
See how simple it was? All he had to do was just the thing that was told unto him to do to fix his problem. And he was clean. And sometimes that just be as simple as it is. With the sisters, man, it just be you go to him with the problem. He give you the solution. The only problem you got is the fact that you don't follow that solution. And you just need to do that. Brothers have a problem. They get the solution from their leadership. And the only thing you need to do is go and follow that solution. And they can't even do that. They want to find their own solution. They want to find their own path. Give me Ephesians 5:23.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body.
Read it again, all right.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
It say, for the husband is the head of the wife. Read.
Even as Christ is the head of the church.
Even as Christ is the head of the whole body. Read.
And he is the Savior of the body.
Read on.
Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ.
See, as the church is subject unto the Christ. Read.
So let the wives be their own husbands in everything.
In everything. In everything. And so the thing is, why are so many of our people seeking advice from outside sources when it say that the wife is supposed to be subject to their husband in everything? So the wife is supposed to go to her husband in everything. And if you really feel that you can't trust your husband when it comes to advice in your life, then go to your leadership. Go to men of God and get that advice. But if you can't trust your husband, what kind of marriage is that? And then the husband, you need to go to your husband. You need to go to the men of God, the men of the church, and get that advice. Quit going to outside sources. Read.
Husbands, love your wives.
See, husbands, love your wives. Read.
Even as Christ also loved the church.
Read.
And gave himself for it.
So the thing is, what you give is what you're going to get.
That's right.
If you're not giving yourself for your family, you're not going to receive that much from your family. A lot of brothers want their wife to be the perfect wife, giving themselves. They want the wife to give herself. They want the wife to be to sacrifice her life for the household. But then they want to act like she's supposed to sacrifice so they can enjoy, so they can chill and they can relax, when it's really the other way around. That man is supposed to give that sacrifice. Brothers don't want to step up to the plate. Give me Deuteronomy 28:53. Go back to the curses. Let's see how much the curses apply to you. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 53.
Read.
And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body.
It traveled down to your children. Eating the fruit of your own children. That means you devouring your own children's future. A lot of brothers in the truth, they not really raising their children. They allowing their children to raise themselves even in the truth. They not really teaching their children. I don't mean just reading the scripture to your child. I don't mean just making your child go read the Bible. I mean instilling spiritual knowledge in your child. And for you to instill spiritual knowledge, you got to have spiritual knowledge. You got to be spiritual. Read.
The flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters.
Read.
Which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
See, the Lord gave you sons and daughters only for you to allow them to be destroyed. Read.
In the seas and in the straightness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
We being distressed now today. Read.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
See, the thing is, with that tender and very delicate, man, it's not, we want to apply that to people that we don't like. We don't like him, so he's tender and delicate.
Bring it out.
I don't like him, so he's tender and delicate. But that tender and delicate, it applies to your psyche, man. You got a fragile mind. Fragile mind. One little thing, you broken. One little problem, you panicking.
Bring it out.
One little issue, you breaking down. Tender and very delicate. Read.
His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
His eye always gonna have a problem. Every little thing, as soon as one thing happened, he assuming everybody. You ever seen them old shows where like dude will be down in the dumps and all of a sudden he see everybody got the evil eye towards him. Everybody got little eyes poking out the darkness, looking at him, judging him. You ever seen them cartoons where he just had a little eyes looking at him? He feel like he being watched. That's how brothers will feel. They'll have their eye toward their own brother because they feel like everybody else looking at them. Read.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And then they'll feel that way about their wife. They'll feel bad about themselves. They'll feel down on themselves. So they'll hate their wife. Because how can you love your wife if you hate yourself? Read.
And toward the remnant of his children.
And then if you hating on your wife, you're going to hate everything that proceeds from her. You're going to hate your children. Read.
Which he shall lead.
Because and it's not saying physically lead. You know, it is saying physically lead, but the thing is, if you're not there in the spirit, you left. You alone. The same way you can be married, have a husband and a wife together in one household and still feel alone is the same way you can be in there and you can be feeding your children and paying their bills and doing all that, but not be there with your children. You're not there. You gone. You in your own little world. Read.
So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat.
Read on.
Because he hath nothing left him in the seed.
You can't leave nothing. You can't give them nothing. You have no spirit to give them. You have no knowledge to give them. You have no wisdom to give them. They are a blank slate. They have nothing from you. Read.
And in the straightness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates.
And brothers think that because they taught their child to wear fringes, that they prepared them for the kingdom of heaven.
Bring it out.
Read.
The tender and delicate woman among you.
Then the tender and delicate woman. The woman, she can't take much. She can't handle it. Read.
Which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness.
And I'm going to tell you something. A lot of these sisters, they run from confrontation. That's what, they run from problems. They do not want to handle problems. If a problem happened, they shut down. You having an argument, she shut down. You don't like something she did, you trying to rebuke her, she shut down. She do not want to deal with problems. Read.
Her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom.
See, sisters cannot have that problem. If you a sister that always shutting down, man, you gonna end in divorce. You gonna end in divorce, man. If you a sister that cannot get rebuked without shutting down, if you a sister that cannot have problems in her life without shutting down, you gonna end in divorce, man, because you got hatred. You gonna have hatred because you got unresolved issues. You got unresolved issues. Read.
And toward her son, and toward her daughter.
Read.
And toward her young one, that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, which she shall bear.
Read on.
For she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege, and straight.
See, the thing is, that sister gonna destroy her house secretly. That thing, everything gonna be looking good on the outside, man. But on the inside, she devouring that house from the inside out, man. That negativity and that hatred she got that she holding on to, she shut down when it come out, but then she blossom back out when ain't no problems, and you thinking everything good because she look like a beautiful flower, but on the inside it stank. Read.
Wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates.
See, the thing is, man, what you look like on the outside, man, that don't matter. Give me Sirach 41:5. It don't matter, man. You can look like whatever you want to look like. I don't care. I'm not looking at your house.
Read out.
I don't care. You can look like whatever you want to look like, but what really matters is how do you feel when you go home? Read this, Art.
The book of Sirach, chapter 41 and verse 5.
Read.
The children of sinners are abominable children.
The children of sinners are abominable children, man. How many Israelites today are raising abomination children, man? Read.
And they are conversing in the dwellings of the ungodly.
Read.
The inheritance of sinners. Children shall perish.
See, the thing is, anything you try to do for your children, you leave for your children, it's going to perish. Because everything your parents try to leave for you, it perish. You don't have nothing. What make you think you're doing anything different? What are you really doing different for your children other than leaving them a couple of bags of fringes in a plastic bag in a sewing machine? Really, what? Read.
And their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach.
Read on.
The children will complain of an ungodly father.
See, the thing is, they gonna you the same way. Brothers don't realize that history repeats itself. The same way you be complaining about your parents, you thinking that's gonna change because you gave your child a couple of kisses when they was a baby? Yeah. You think that's gonna change? They gonna reach 25, 30 years old and they're gonna be talking smack about you, man, because you don't do nothing for them. You didn't have nothing. You didn't leave them nothing. You didn't teach them nothing. You gave them a Bible, made them read a chapter a night. You forced them. You say, you need to read a chapter a night. Didn't explain nothing to them. Then left them a bag of fringes and a sewing machine. Told them you better keep the Sabbath or the Lord gonna kill you. Read.
Because they shall be reproached for his sake.
Read on.
Woe be unto you, ungodly men.
Read.
Which have forsaken the law of the Most High God.
Read on.
For if ye increase.
If you have children, read.
It shall be to your destruction.
Because let me show you why. Give me Luke 21:23. Give me Luke 21 and 23. Read this, Art.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 23.
Read.
But woe unto them that are with child.
See, the thing is, if you still in sin, woe unto you that are with child, man. Woe unto you, man. Read.
And to them that give suck.
Read.
In those days.
In the days of destruction, fire, brimstone. Read.
For there shall be great distress in the land.
Read.
And wrath upon this people.
Because if you still in sin, man, it's going to suck to raise them children, man. Because you're going to raise them and you're going to watch them be destroyed. You're going to have to wait. It's better for you not to even have children, man. If you know you're not in the spirit, if you know you having problems in your relationship, if you know you can't communicate with your wife, and you know your wife can't communicate with you, don't go having children, man. Because you're going to have to watch them get destroyed, man. And that's a worse thing than you just not even having children at all, man. Read.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Read.
And shall be led away captive unto all nations.
And you're going to have to watch them. You're going to be thinking, oh, they 15 years old. Yeah, they being nice. They reading precepts and everything. As soon as they turn 18, man, they turn right into a monster. I done seen it happen too many times before. As soon as they turn 18, man, they dip. They out of there. Read.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
Read.
Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Give me Ephesians 5 and 25.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives.
Husbands, love your wives. Read.
Even as Christ also loved the church.
Read.
And give himself for it.
Read on.
That he might sanctify and cleanse it with washing of water by the word.
What is the job of the husband? But to cleanse and sanctify his wife with the washing of water by the word. Cleansing and sanctifying your house with the washing of water by the word. Read.
That he might present it to himself a glorious church.
That you may present your wife and your children unto yourself as a glorious family. Read.
Not having spot.
See, your family unto you, you should be molding them and cleansing them and giving them that washing so that they may not have no spot. Read.
Or wrinkle.
Read.
Or any such thing.
Read.
But that it should be holy.
That it should be holy. Read.
And without blemish.
Read on.
So ought men to love their wives.
Read.
As their own bodies.
Some brothers love their car more than they love their wife.
Bring it out.
Because they'll wash that car every week and their wife will be dirty.
Bring it out.
And they'll leave that wife dirty. They won't try to cleanse it with the washing of the word. They don't try to cleanse them children with the washing of the word. But they'll go wash that car every single week, man. They'll make sure that car get that oil change every 300 miles, man. Every 3,000 miles. Read.
He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
But see, that show you the brother love that car more than he love himself. He loved that house more than he loved himself. Because when you love your wife, you love yourself. Give me Sirach 26:23. We almost done. Give me Sirach 26:23. Read this.
The book of Sirach, chapter 26 and verse 23.
Read.
A wicked woman
read.
is given as a portion to a wicked man.
See, the thing is, brothers don't want to see themselves in that mirror. They don't want to see that when you look in somebody's eyes. That's why, I'm going to tell you something. Real talk. That is why people hate to make eye contact. And that's one thing that I always push for when I speak to brothers about their relationship with their wife. I say, when's the last time you made eye contact with her?
Bring it out.
You know what I'm saying? Real talk. When's the last time you sat down in the bed with her and you was rebuking her and you wasn't looking over her?
Bring it out.
A lot of brothers, they want to rebuke while they're looking over here. See, this is what I'm saying, man. We gotta get this right. We gotta get on the same page.
Bring it out.
How you gonna be on the same page? You ain't even looking at her. When I talk to my wife, when I rebuke my wife, or when I deal with my wife, when I ask her what can I do better, you know what I always do? I always sit down right next to her and I say, look at me. I don't care what you're doing. Look at me.
Bring it out.
Look me in my eyes. That way we can have a connection while we communicate. Because I know that if I'm dealing with you and you're not looking at me, we're not connected.
Bring it out.
You could be, I don't know if you listen, I don't know what you anything. I need to know that we have a connection when we speaking. See? And that's what I wanted to get on too, is because brothers don't want to have that eye contact, because when you looking in somebody's eyes, you can see the way they see you.
Bring it out. You
can see in their eyes the way they see you. And if you're looking at your wife and you're afraid to look in her eyes, maybe you're afraid to see disrespect. Maybe you're afraid to see that she don't respect you. Maybe you're afraid to see that she don't really love you. Maybe you're afraid to see those things. Maybe if you look in her eyes, you'll see that she really do love you. You see the respect, and then you respect yourself. See, read.
But a godly woman
read,
is given to him that feareth the Lord.
That feareth the Lord. If you fear the Lord just means just doing what he say.
Bring it out.
Just being obedient. Just being there for him. Being there for what he needs. If you do that, you're going to have a godly woman. Give me Ephesians chapter 5, verse 29. Read this.
The book of Ephesians chapter 5, verse 29.
Read.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh.
No man ever yet hated his own flesh. See, the thing is, some brothers hating on their own flesh, man.
Bring it out.
That really be what it is. They hate themselves. They hate their mistakes. They hate their mindset. They hate the fact that they can't get things right. Read.
But nourisheth it and cherisheth it.
And the problem is when brothers don't nourish and cherish themselves, when they don't nourish their own spirit and cherish their own spirit, they end up hating themselves. Read.
Even as the Lord the church.
And when you don't nourish your own spirit and cherish your own spirit, you end up neglecting your wife. Because how can you care for your wife if you're not caring for yourself? Read.
For we are members of his body.
Of his body, read.
Of his flesh.
Read.
And of his bones.
Is that not what it say in Genesis?
Read out.
Read.
For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother.
Leave the old way. Leave your old mindset. Leave that lifestyle. Read.
And shall be joined unto his wife.
And you're supposed to be joined unto your wife. That means that you're supposed to know the way your wife think. You're supposed to know your wife.
Bring it out.
Know your wife. When you speaking to her, I tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I'm talking to my wife, I can tell her what she's thinking. I can be like, this is what you're thinking, right? This is what you think. You thinking this, you thinking that. I know her. We are joined together. You see what I'm saying? Read.
And shall be joined unto his wife.
Read.
And they two shall be one flesh.
But then you can't be afraid to let her know you too.
Bring it out.
You can't be afraid to let her know you. Let her see your mistakes. Let her see your flaws. Read.
This is a great mystery.
See, it's a great mystery because, and brothers be thinking it's a great mystery because it means that Christ and church, bro, it's a great mystery for you to even be one flesh with your own wife. It's a great mystery because you thinking you one flesh because you live in the same house. You thinking you one flesh because you eat the same dinner. You thinking that you one flesh because you sleep in the same bed. It's not the case, man. It's not the case. Read.
But I speak concerning Christ and the church.
Read on.
Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself.
See, the thing is, you got to look at yourself in particular. Are you loving your wife as you love yourself? And if you're not loving your wife, that means you don't love yourself. Read.
And the wife see that she reverence her husband.
That she reverence her husband. You're supposed to have a respect for your husband. You can't let that falter. Give me Ephesians 4:25 and we out. Read this.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 4, verse 25.
Read.
Wherefore, putting away lying.
See, the thing is, you got to put away lying, man. That lying is not, I'm not saying, oh, you tell her one thing and the truth is something else. No, I mean just the fact that you hiding yourself from her is a lie. You hiding who you really are is a lie. Read.
Speak every man truth with his neighbor.
Speak truth to your wife. Be real with her. Be like, babe, I know I made this mistake. Let me fix it. What can I do better? You know, babe, I'm struggling with this. Let's get over this together. You know what I'm saying? Some brothers, they'll let their whole life go to crap before they admit to their wife they need to make a change in their life. Read.
For we are members one of another.
We are members one of another. Read.
But ye angry.
He say, be ye angry. It's okay to have problems. It's okay to have disagreements. Read.
And sin not.
But sin not. You can have a problem and still love your wife. You can have a disagreement and still have that love for your wife like Christ loved the church. Read.
Let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
And never go to bed angry. Real talk. That's some real. Never go to bed angry, man. I can't stand that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm having a problem with this and the third, I'll never go to bed angry, man. I can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? I'll sit there and have that conversation all night. I don't care how annoyed she get, because I want to resolve it before I go to bed. I'm not about to do it. Read.
Neither give place to the devil.
Because that's what give place to the devil, because y'all end up going to sleep angry and it fester and it fester and it fester. I'm not giving no place to no deceiver, to no lies. Read.
Let him that stole steal no more.
Change your old life. Read.
But rather let him labor.
It's time to begin laboring as the husband, as the man of the house. Read.
Working with his hands the thing which is good.
Read.
That he may have to give to him that needs.
See, you got to work with your hands to that which is good, so that you may have to give when your wife need. Read.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth.
You got to watch the way you talk to your wife. You got to watch the way you talk to your husband, because a lot of it just be correct. It just be argument for argument's sake. It just be throwing shots for no reason. Sometimes brothers ain't really trying to fix the situation. They just trying to insult. Sister ain't really trying to get to the root of the problem. She just trying to insult. Corrupt communication. Read.
But that which is good to the use of edifying.
That is the responsibility of the husband, is to always be trying to move the situation forward instead of allowing it to fester. Everything that come out of your mouth need to be bettering y'all's relationship, not destroying it. Read.
That it may minister grace unto the hearers.
And when your wisdom proceed out of your mouth, it should minister peace and grace unto your wife. But some brothers, they wife get tired of their voice, man, because it just be negative. It be war. It be against what Christ is. And it be bearing down on their spirit. Read.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of God.
And that relationship between a husband and wife that's negative, it grieves the Holy Spirit. Read.
Whereby ye are sealed unto the day of redemption.
Read.
Let all bitterness.
All what?
All bitterness.
All what?
All bitterness.
Sometimes brothers and sisters be bitter, man. They be bitter. Bitter against each other, man. But they want to say they love each other. Read.
And wrath.
And wrath. Some brothers be getting so angry.
Bring it out.
Sister said something to you. You said, hey, this, that, and third. She like, no. He just be like, what did you say? I'm your Lord. You can't say that to me. I'm the Lord of this house. I am God in here. You can't say that to me. And they just be going out of there. They be like, I'm Pharaoh up in this mug. Wrath. Read.
And anger.
And anger. They be getting so angry. Read.
And clamor.
Read.
And evil speech.
All that stuff, man. Read.
Be put away from you.
You got to put that away, man. You can't have that, because that's pride. That's lying. That's being a fraud. That's being fake, man. Just be real with your wife. Just be real with her. Be honest with her. Be naked in front of her. Don't be fake. Don't be Pharaoh. Don't be the king. Don't be God. Don't be the ruler. Be yourself. Be your husband. Be a man. Read.
With all malice.
With all that malice. Read.
And be ye kind one to another.
Hold on. What are we supposed to be?
Be ye kind one to another.
What the husband's supposed to be to his wife?
Be ye kind one to another.
What the wife's supposed to be to her husband?
Be ye kind one to another.
Y'all got to get back to being kind. Be nice.
Bring it out.
Be nice to each other. Why it all got to be official business all the time, man?
Bring it out.
Why can't you just be kind one to another? Read.
Tenderhearted.
You're supposed to be tenderhearted to your wife. When your wife is expressing concerns to you, you're supposed to be merciful and tenderhearted. Read.
Forgiving one another.
Hold on, what are we supposed to do?
Forgiving one another.
That'd be a major problem in the household, man. That husband cannot forgive what she said to him, man. They will fester. Oh, she said that to me. The disrespect. The wife cannot forgive the husband. Read.
Even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you.
And that's what we got to understand, man. It all go back to the same thing Christ did for us is the same way you're supposed to be with your wife. So re-examine the way you treat your wife, the way you talk to your wife. The wife, re-examine the way you deal with your husband. Make eye contact. If you having problems, sit her down, sit him down. Make eye contact and have a conversation. On that, we say shalom.